Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. Also make sure you turn off the dishwasher's water supply underneath the sink. In this video, we're going to show you how to change out the GE dishwasher door handle. It's going to be a very easy repair and it should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the new door handle. The door handle is what you use to open and close the dishwasher door. The main reason you'd be changing it out is if it's lost or damaged. In order to change the part, we have to pull the dishwasher out. First thing we're going to do is go underneath the sink and disconnect the lines. Now that we're underneath the cabinets, you want to make sure that the dishwasher is still unplugged, and you may want to throw a towel down. When we take off the fill line and the drain hose, there's going to be some water that comes out. First, we're going to disconnect the fill line. It's connected right here to the hot water valve. You want to make sure the water valve is off, and then we're going to use our 5/8" wrench to loosen up the hose. Once you have it broke free, you can just reach in and unscrew it by hand. Once you have it off, you can just set it down, and then we can take off the drain hose. To take the drain hose off, you just want to follow it up to wherever it goes. It may go to the garbage disposal. Ours goes up to the air gap. Once you locate the end of it, we're going to take a 5/16 nut driver and loosen up the clamp. Once you have the clamp loose, you can pull it free and set it down. Now that we have the lines disconnected, we're going to open up the dishwasher door and use the Phillips screwdriver to take out the screws to hold the dishwasher to the countertop. Once you have the screws out, we're going to lift up on the door and use it to carefully pull the dishwasher out a little bit. Once you have it started, you can grab the frame. We're not going to pull it out all the way, just far enough so we have access to the door cables. Before we take the door off, we have to disconnect the wiring harness for the control board, so we have to take off the access panel. We're going to use a 5/16" nut driver to take out the screws. Once you have the screws out, you can pull the panel off and set it aside. Now that we have the access panel out of the way, we can see the wiring harness for the control board. It's right in the center of the dishwasher. It's just got a little locking clip on it. We're going to press and release it. Once you have it off, we're going to follow the wiring harness up. And there's two little holders that hold the wiring harness to the tub. They're just the type that push in to lock, so you just have to carefully pull them out so we can take the door off. Now we can take out the door cables. Before you do it, you want to make sure the door is completely closed, so when you take the cables off, the door doesn't fall open. We're going to disconnect it from the hinge right here. So we're going to pull on the door cable just to release the tension and then unhook it from the hinge. Once you have it off, you can just set it aside and then we can do the other side. Now that we have the cables disconnected, we can take the door off. We're just going to open it up a little bit and lift it off the hinges. Once you have it free, you can pull it off the dishwasher. Now that we have the door off, we're going to set it on a table. You want to make sure you put a towel down so it doesn't get scratched. First, we're going to take the silverware basket off and set it aside. Then we have to take the vent cover off. We're going to use a flathead screwdriver just to get in the little tab right there. Just tap it so it comes loose. Once you have it loose, you can unscrew it and take it off. Now we have to take out the 4 screws that hold the inner and outer door panels together. There's 2 on each side. We're going to use a 1/4" nut driver to take them out. When you take these screws off, you want to remember that the lower one is the fine thread, and the upper one's the coarse thread. Now that we have the screws out, we're going to take the hinges out and set them aside. All you have to do is pull them down and lift them out, set them aside. Now that we have the hinges off, you just want to make sure that the little vent piece is kind of pushed down below the liner itself. And then we're going to hold on to the outer door and push the inner door up to separate it. Once you have it separated, you can lift the inner door off. Now that we have the door separated, we have access to the screws that hold the door handle on. There's one on each side, but first we have to remove this vent. So we're going to use a corner nut driver to take out the screws. Once you have the screws out, you can just lift the vent off and set it aside. Now we're going to remove the screws that hold the handle on. We're going to use a 3/8" socket, the ratchet, and unscrew them. Once you have this side out, we can do the other one. When you're doing this side, you want to reach underneath and grab the handle so it doesn't fall. Once you have both screws out, you can pull the door handle off the door. Here's the old door handle next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at appliancepartspros.com. Now we can put the new door handle on. It's a universal handle. It doesn't matter which way you put it on. So we're just going to lower it down into place and line up the screw holes and put the screws in. Once you have it started, you can grab the ratchet with the 3/8" socket and tighten it down. As you're tightening it down, you want to look over at the other side and make sure the screw hole is lined up. Make sure the handle's straight across the door. Once you have this side in, we can do the other side. Now that you have the new door handle installed, you can put the vent back on. Just have to set it in place and line it up. Then we can use the corner nut driver to put the screws back in. Once you have the vent in, we can put the door back together. You want to make sure you have the outer panel on the table. And then when you put the inner panel on, you want to just make sure that these little wiring harness holders didn't come out. And then you have to line up these tabs along with the slots in the door and then push it down in order to lock it together. Now we can put the hinges back on. All you have to do is push them up into the door. And then we can use the corner nut driver to put the screws back in. Remember that the coarse thread went on the upper screw and the fine thread was the bottom one. Now we can put the vent cover back on. So I want to line it up, get it started. Once you have it snug, you just want to take the flathead screwdriver and give it a tap to make sure it's tight and you get a good seal. Once you have the cover on, you can put the silverware basket on. All you have to do is set it in place, and then we can put the dishwasher door back on the dishwasher. Just want to line it up so it's on the outside of the hinge brackets, and then set the pins down into the hinge. Once you have it in place, you want to close it and latch it so the door doesn't fall open, and then we can hook up the door cables. Just want to grab the cable itself and hook it over the hinge arm, and then stretch out the spring and put it over the roller. Now we're going to reconnect the wiring harness at the bottom of the door. First thing we're going to do is reach up and plug in the two little wiring harness holders. And we can grab the harness and plug it into the control board. So make sure it goes all the way in and locks into place. Once you have it in place, we can put the access panel back on. To put the access panel in, you just want to slide it up into place, and then we can use the 5/16" nut driver to put the screws in. Now we can push the dishwasher back in. Once you have it in, you can open up the door, and we can use the Phillips screwdriver to put in the screws that hold it to the countertop. Once you have the screws in, you can close the dishwasher door, and then we're going to go underneath the sink and reconnect the lines. Now we can reconnect the drain hose to the air gap. Once you have it pushed up into place, we're going to use our 5/16" nut driver to tighten down the clamp. Once you have the drain line hooked up, we can hook up the water line. All you have to do is get it started by hand. Once you have it snug, we can reach in with our 5/8" wrench to tighten it down so it doesn't leak. Once you have the lines reconnected, you can close the cabinet doors. Then we can plug it back in, turn the water back on, and take it for a spin. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.